spoopy times, and that means we get to play a spoopy game. This is Alien Isolation. We're throwing chairs at this week. It's by Creative Assembly, Sega, and Feral Interactive, our pals Brad and company. It's an in-house engine with no public name because it felt good to get out of the rain. Ported by the Feral guys to run fairly well, in my opinion. It retails for $50. You can pick it up on sale for $25 currently, but that's not going to last for too long. It's probably going to be that price maybe a day or two after the show comes out. But what is it? Discover the true meaning of fear in Alien Isolation, a survival horror set in the atmosphere of constant dread, mortal danger, and non-functioning vending machines. And, of course, mandatory U.S. disclosure. Feral sent us keys for this after a long wait. So let's get on with the chair acquisition. 1 chair means that it's garbage. 2 chairs means that it's meh. 3 chairs means that it's pretty good. 4 chairs means that it's amazeballs. Also got our categories to do, mixed with working, shiny sounds, controls, and fun. But this is old news. We want the new news. So Ven, how does Alien Isolation make with the work?
Oh, shizzle snap, son. Somebody learned how to AMD, bro, and that definitely was the fine folks at Feral. This is wow. Admittedly, I was mortified when I first launched the game, and it launched in 720p with all the yellow swag sauce like cut down to minimum. I was like, here we go again. And, put it at 1080. Didn't try it at 4K. Just put it at 1080, cut everything up. It fucking ran beautifully, man. I mean, it's always hovering somewhere between, 50 and 70, sometimes even higher than that. I mean, it's a bit of brilliance. But here's something I do need to talk about. And by the way, this is on the octa-core 8150 NVIDIA 980 powered 4K display box of business. I can't ding at a chair for this, but I got to get this off my chest, Organ, there is 19 seconds of unskippable bullshit. This is not Feral's fault. Maybe a little bit.
CinemaSins.
Right. You can't get by it. You can't escape through it or anything like that. Maybe you can go in there and delete the actual movie files and nope that business. But yeah, my box starts in 7 seconds from cold boot. So, yeah, that was kind of annoying. Can't ding at a chair for that. Really want to, but I'm not. So, I'm going to give this business what it deserves, because it is awesome with the 4 chairs.
Oh, man, those unskippable logos. And I've turned into Bigfoot again. It's extra spooky. But on the i7 6700K powered 32 gigabytes of RAM NVIDIA GTX 980 box of business, at 4K, it maintains like over 60 frames a second consistently. I think maybe in one scene where there was a lot of shit going on, I saw it drop to like 57, but like on average it's 65. I think the peak I saw was maybe 80 at 4K, which is awesome. I mean, that is like super ultra playable frame rate at 4K on a single CPU with a single GPU. That's amazing. Good job, huh? Good job, Feral. Glad those delays actually meant something. 4 chairs.
Yeah, on my end with the FX 8370E overclocked at 4.2 gigahertz and the 3.5 gig GTX 970 Strix, I was surprised that the game ran so well. I mean, I am stuck at 1080p, but it ran really well. The lowest I ever saw the game get was like 52 FERPs, and one of those really heavy scenes. Like, lots of fire, lots of smoke. So, good on Feral. They delayed the game, but they actually got it working. So, for me, I'll echo both what Jordan and Ven were saying, that let people skip the intro branding bullshit. I mean, you're not loading. You're very clearly not loading because there's a big-ass loading screen right when you start the game, so what's the point? But then again, not giving people that agency is right along the lines of everything else in this game. I'll expound on that later. 4 chairs.
One interesting thing to note, Ben and I were discussing this earlier before we started recording. It seems to only be it seems to be pinned to a single core on my machine, but Ben was remarking that it is hella multi-threaded, possibly due to some of the AMD optimizations that Feral has been doing.
You do have a Skylake processor too, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so that's
true. So that's 4 chairs for Mixed with the Working. Up next is the shiny and the sounds. Ben.
It is kind of brilliant. This, when I first saw it in 720p, I was like, ugh. Then I got it up to 1080p, and I was like, ooh. I mean, lighting effects, it's not Shadow of Mordor pretty. Damn, it's a close second. I mean, it's definitely one of the better looking games I've ever seen on the Linuxes. And I really dig it. I like the style because they said, okay, man, we're just going to go back. The terminals, you got tapes. I mean, it is old school, original Alien. Like, you do feel like that base has been decommissioned. Minor spoiler, not really. If you play the game for 10 seconds, you figure that out. Alien, you know there's an alien in there, so no spoiler. Looks great. The robot things, you'll encounter them. They look great. I mean, it's just pretty. It's well done. It is atmospheric as fuck and all with the sounds. I don't have 3D. I don't know if it supports 3D. I know some people were saying there were some issues. They couldn't get that working, but, I just have stereo headphones, and they work amazingly for this. 30 minutes into the game, you're on that station, man. There's no way around it. Really digging the sounds. Love the way it looks. And, but you got a 980 and you got it cranked up. And it was utilizing the 980. I mean, it was like a 54% usage. I was like, yes, this is progress. I like this. Let's make some use out of that. And you can probably get away with running it on a far, far lower system. And still with the graphical fidelity that I was getting. I mean, it was just brilliant. So, yeah, I'm gushing. Man, I don't do that often, but 4 chairs.
Yeah, I mean, the developers really did take a page out of the Amnesia book of sound design. This is a good thing, unlike, say, Outlast, where sound design is more, God, I hate these violin strings. Fuck them in their stupid violin string head. The voice acting is also well done, but that's what you'd expect from a AAA game. The pre-rendered cutscenes look great, but everyone looks like they're sweating buckets, as if like someone really needs to turn up the air conditioning. Someone clearly doesn't live in Ven's studio. And yeah, like at 4K, it looks amazing. You stare out into space, like all the details on the space station you see out through the window are there. It's pretty awesome. It really does help capture like the scale of the place you're exploring and just how fucked you are. And this game likes to hammer that fact in that you're pretty much fucked. Yeah, no, it looks great. It sounds great. It's what you'd expect from a AAA title from last year. So 4 chairs.
Yep. This is a very good looking game. Arguably the best looking game out for Linux right now. But when it comes to the Xenomorph itself, they nailed how it looks. Like H.R. Geiger made it look in the very first movie. It looks exactly like that. Everything about it, from the floppy tail to the second mouth, as janky as it was in the first movie, it's right here in this game, and it works. It's that inhuman jankiness that makes it unnerving. It's a similar effect to what the straitjackets or the flash jackets do in Silent Hill 2. There was a bit of a bug where I saw Amanda clipping halfway into a locked door during one of the cutscenes, but since it only happened once, I'm gonna let that slide. The background music and the sound effects were very subtle throughout most of the game, just as they should be, and whenever something that required a little bit of an audio int happened, you got it all over your ear pussies at just the right time. Good job. Very, very good sound design. The people behind Outlast would benefit from keeping a notepad close to them while playing this particular game. 4 chairs.
All right, so that's 4 chairs for Shiny and Sounds. Up next is Control. Ven, how'd you play this first-person shooter with your Xbox controller?
Well, I mean, right off the get-go, it says press A to continue, and I was like, oh, look, I'm going to get the X-Clone controller, which this thing identifies as a Microsoft Xbox 360 controller. Says I hate Microsoft enough I didn't want to give them any money directly, and we're all pretty sure this one fell off the back of the truck and just didn't get labeled. So I did press that A button to continue, and I probably spent the first 45 minutes, moving around. I was like, well, it's not really fast-paced at that time. I'm not going to give anything away. Shit gets real, son. But it's like, okay, and it's telling you, it's like, if you want to crouch. And I was like, mash all the buttons, couldn't crouch, couldn't run either. And it's like, okay, maybe something's wrong with this X-Clone controller. So I went to, and I loaded up, mash all the buttons, Shadows of Mordor. Started that up, everything worked. And I mean, feral, same people and all that, not holding that against it at all. But it should work with the X. When it works with all the other games, yeah, you gotta ding it just a little bit for that. But I did end up using the keyboard and gerbil combination. It's brilliant. Everything's there like you would expect. Even fucking crafting, but I'll get into that later. I mean, it's still completely playable. Something that Jordan will elaborate on. You will peek around a corner exactly one time, then go, no, I think we're done with that. So, controls, absolutely 3 chairs on that. Gotta ding at that one little chair just because out-of-the-box experience didn't happen, and that might affect you with your Steam boxes. I don't know. I tried it in big picture mode. Nothing seemed to resolve that issue. J-Baby.
Yeah, so apparently Amanda Ripley and Derek Zoolander have some sort of distant relations, because after a specific degree, Amanda just can't turn left anymore. You can 360 by turning to the right, but turn left, God help you. It's those Zoolander genes, man. She needs to go to the academy for people who want to read good and do other stuff good too. One of the nice things about this game, and very few games actually do this, is if you like fire up your wireless controller, I was using a DualShock 4, while the game is running, it will detect that, hey, there's a controller here. You want to use that instead of the keyboard and mouse? Yeah. So that was nice, as opposed to having to restart the game. I did not have the issues that Ben had with the crouching control. The L3 and R3 buttons worked fine with the DualShock. But even with this console optimized interface, god damn, like if in a game where you're supposed to conserve your resources and ammunition, how do you aim with this? I just don't know. Still, keyboard and mouse is entirely playable, although some of the key combinations get a little Emacs-ish. I mean, like it's great that Feral was able to port their game entirely to eLisp, but hitting Control Shift Alt Butterfly VX to like peek around a corner is a mite excessive. I just gotta say. But keyboard and mouse, everything works fine. Xbox, not with the Xbox, with the PlayStation 4 controller. This game does the SDL2 thing where it just maps the button positions to the equivalent Xbox 360 button positions, but it still gives you the 360 prompts, which can get a little confusing when there's some button overlap between the PlayStation 4 and Xbox controller.
Like the cross
beyond that,
and the X.
Yeah, X and cross. Oh, that just fucking duh. But anyways, like beyond that, beyond a couple of those issues, it controls fine, but still got to ding it a chair for the issues that it does have. 3 chairs.
Yeah, so something about the gerbil movement doesn't feel right. You see, if you move left and right, it's fine.
It's because you're holding it in the air, Pedro.
What?
No, it's because you're holding your gerbil in the air, and that's why it's not working.
It's an example, Ven.
Oh.
I'm giving the video viewers
I don't believe you.
over our audio audience, as it were.
Right,
But yeah, left and right, the mouse movement is all right. When you go vertically to look up or down, something is wrong because it's slower. It's very, very slow. It's like, that's usually how it would work if you, say, were a console playing peasant and you were trying to play a first-person shooter with your controller and you were using the right analog stick to look up and down. Those are usually slower than looking left and right. That's how it works. If you're on your 5-year-old laptop hardware, it's probably a good thing too. That way the game doesn't have to render a whole lot of stuff or de-render it, as it may be. So for me, it gets 3 chairs because the mouse movement is not very fluid.
All right, well, that's 3 chairs for control. And finally, we have our fun section. Ben, did you enjoy your time playing Alien Isolation?
I have weapons, and yes, using them will more often than not result in you getting killed to death, but I have them. I mean, Penumbra Overture got this business right. You know, you had that like semi-useless pickaxe, but it was there, and it made you feel a little better. That was like the one thing about Soma that kind of like killed the immersion, because I'm looking around all this stuff. It's like, I can make a weapon, Brad. This lets you. Crafting. And good thing, because it's a mothering time vampire of a game. Yeah, I sit down when we finished downloading, and I was like, let me give this a quick little 2 hours later. It's like, whoa, shit, we gotta put that down. That's cocaine. Also, I really dig how the game is all, By the way, here's an alien. Mind it, but you got other shit to go take care of too. I mean, it is very non-ceremoniously, no spoilers. Can't tell you exactly how that plays out, but you're like, oh, okay, that's a thing. And it's also a fun thing because Mr. Alien Pants, after the introduction, he'll just show the fuck up. He don't give a damn. It is the AI. I mean, you don't. Sometimes he'll be there, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're like, oh shit, run, and you hide and it'll disappear. Then you'll turn around. He's like, surprise alien, you. That's why. And you know that just keeps the shite exciting. And you know, I definitely knew I was swimming in the immersion sauce when I quietly was like whispering, "Fetch, motherfucker," while lobbing a flare to distract Mr. Alien Pants. And unfortunately, I kind of hit the hide from the annoying or just run or play Benny Hill with the annoying robot section. I'm like, oof. Okay, so this is going to be a thing. I was thinking maybe it was just going to be a thing. Oh, fuck, no, that's a mechanic, but I can't tell you a whole lot about it because Raisins, kind of disappointed with those androids because these are supposed to be like the old school flip the hell out murdery ones from the original Aliens. Yep. And that's maybe kind of expecting, I don't know, more question mark, but they're just kind of daft. There's not a whole lot to them. And there are the occasional glitches. Strider and Chat-Realm, I think we both felt it at the same time. If you go to Chat-Realm Static and look where we posted, I've called it Space Gun, where the revolver is just like hovering and you can't do anything with it. And I've had a couple of other small glitches, especially with the robots, where they'll just stand there and say, you're supposed to be doing something, and I can't thwack them or anything, and I'm not going to waste any of my space bullets, trying to shoot a glitch. And at the end of the day, though, I mean, okay, I got to put it like this. Half off buy the damn game, because I'm reading people are putting easily 15 hours into this and still having a very good time. And there's all the DLC, even at full price. If you like Soma, frictional horror type game, this does it right. Yes, it's a AAA publisher trying to pull off like, hey, we're doing like an indie type game. And of course there's crafting and all that business, but it's kind of logical. It doesn't irritate you like, what was it, Dead Island that we played? Well, that moon crafting system. And this is just like, hey man, you want some scrap? I got all kind of scrap, but I don't have the other things. You put it together, boom. And that's that. Even with that glitch sauce, still have fun time. Still going to keep playing this. Absolutely. I'm about 4 hours in, and it's one of those games, kind of like Shadow of Mordor. Like, we got to save that for when we have time to do nothing else other than just play some video games. But, yeah, at the end of the day, with the fun, I mean, definitely a 3-chair solid performer, and it's going to keep me coming back for some more.
Yeah, I mean, like, this sort of game lives or dies on the atmosphere. And aside from the fact that this entire space station runs on Emacs, I mean, again, for the most part, it gets the atmosphere down. And I mean, good on the game for like honoring the classic Alien movies, where they don't really show a lot of the alien up at first. Like it starts to feature more heavily as time goes on, and they have some interesting bits where they fuck with you to make you think that the alien is there when it isn't. But yeah, one thing I've noticed is like you gotta be absolutely certain that alien has left the area, because if he crawls into a vent, he's not gone. You can just go walk around duping your own business. Blah! Giant xenomorph up in your face, eating your brains. But I mean, yeah, like I said, I tend to find these games to be more of a survival nuisance. Alien, I think, gets it right. It has the classic sci-fi aesthetic. It has the established lore, the established universe, characters I actually care about. Versus, Outlast, where it's like, oh, I'm going to go into this asylum. Oh, there are bodies everywhere. I'm not going to nope the fuck out of here. No, let's go deeper. No, you're legitimately trapped on the station. And, like, it really hammers in it's a matter of life or death. The AI, yeah, can be pretty fucking dumb. Though I've run into a couple of glitches myself. Primarily, if I try to evade the androids, they Agent Smith on me, where one will literally just spawn from inside another, walk out from under it, and start beating on me. That is a thing that has happened on more than one occasion, and I wasn't prepared to fight Agent Smith. Let me tell you, no, it's a completely done survival horror game. I've actually watched Let's Plays of this all the way through like last year before this game got announced for Linux, so I do know how it ends. But yeah, no, it's legitimately fun. I will keep playing it, and I do want to spend a bit more time on the DLC because that's just they lock you in a room with the alien and say try and survive and complete all these tasks. Yeah, it's good times. I'll give it 3 chairs.
Yeah, there is one thing, and I will start this by saying there's one thing that Alien Isolation did better than Soma, which was the fact that in Soma, especially during the ship portion, when you go to that vertical ship, where you couldn't look at the enemies. It did that thing where you're actively discouraged from looking at the enemies, but at the same time, you have to look at them to see where the fuck they are. And the moment you look at them, it's like camera goes all wobbly, you can't see a damn thing. So what the fuck is the point? You're trying to scout around, trying to plot a path, and you can't because the camera is doing all that filtery, robot-y shit. This game doesn't do that. Okay, Ripley hyperventilates a little bit, but that's fine. That's okay, considering it's the perfect life form and everything. But there is one thing about this game that kind of ruffles my feathers. It's very obtuse. I mean, right off the bat, it removes agency away from you, the player, by not letting you jump. Oh, hey, it's a game that you have to survive against a pretty much immortal thing because the guns you get can't actually hurt it to any degree. So you can't jump.
Gravity plating.
Also, why are you jumping in a stealth game? That's kind of dumb.
But jumping allows you to run away. A stealth game, every now and again, you're going to get spotted.
You're going to get
you
killed
have to
if
run
you
away.
think you can run away by jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you jump over a table.
Would you rather Outlast where you can just parkour over the fuckers who are trying to kill you?
Outlast was broken on so many levels. That's not the point. But yeah, you don't get to jump, and then you get into a room where there's like 4 NPCs that are actively trying to kill you, and the only thing you have is that maintenance jack, the wrenchy thing. Yeah. So you sneak around, you find one of them alone, you smack him or her upside the head, and then you wait for the others to find the body, and then as they come running, you smack them, because the AI is pretty stupid like that. They see a body, oh, what the hell happened? They come running, you smack them. Then another one sees the 2 bodies, they come running, you smack them. That's pretty much how I cleared
over here.
It's pretty much how I cleared the room. But those NPCs had guns. And the guns were physical. They were there. If I walked near them, I would see the physics engine interacting with the gun and moving it around. Why can't I pick it up? Oh, because you're only supposed to get the revolver at a predetermined place for arbitrary reason number 47. Why? It's so obtuse in that respect. I liked the atmosphere. It was amazing. Like the big windows that let you see outside are a constant reminder that you're in outer space. But that kind of brings me into the second biggest complaint I have about this game is that you never get the feeling that you're really alone. There's always the androids. There's always the NPCs with the guns. And then there's the alien. Okay, if it was just you and the alien, it would kind of make sense. I mean, the game is called Alien Isolation, isn't it? But no, other people are dicks, but they're still there. And I kind of feel like the game's atmosphere suffers a little bit because of that. But that said, I did like what I played very, very much. And I intend to keep playing. Hell, I wanted to play all the way through it before we got to the review, but this week turned out to be a lot busier than I expected, so I couldn't. Still, it gets 3 chairs for the fun.
All right, 3 chairs for fun, and 3 chairs total. Yeah, this game totals out Alien Isolation. 3 chairs from Feral. One final thought I'd like to add. Mm-hmm. So many enemies in this game could be defeated with a simple pointed stick. You have a very robust crafting system. Apparently, sharpening a stick to a point so that you can stab androids in the face while they're stabbing you is a bit beyond Ripley's abilities. That's just the thing that bothered me.
Just to put a bow on the end of it, one thing I want to chime in about on the final thoughts is you guys do need to remember the only thing Feral is responsible for is porting the game. They did not make the game. So when it comes down to, shiny and sounds, now that can be affected somewhere with the ports, but I mean, they're kind of stuck. I can imagine, I'm like, oh shit, we could fix that bug. And they're like, no, it could introduce other bugs and all that shit, from the actual engine. So they kind of got to be hands off. They did a fantastic job getting this up and running on AMD, octa-core AMD CPUs. Just really happy with it. Really fun game. So just keep that business in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. This is a very, very good survival horror game. You get the guns. They're not very useful against anything other than the androids. And even then, like, it takes 5 shots or 6 to the head before they drop. But the guns are there. They give you a sense of security, a false one at that. But when I first got the revolver, I'm thinking like, okay, so I'm in outer space. I have a gun. There's an alien and some people and some robots running around. This is Doom 3, 2014. No, it's not. But yeah, this is very good and totally worth the $25 if you can get it on sale. Just don't even think about it.
I will say, though, as a final thought, it is a bit weird when Predator and Macho Man Randy Savage show up, but I'm sure Farrell had nothing to do with that.